Hello guys, welcome back to Writer's Tales Last Adventures number 46, Warlord. We're in Paris, Paris 1918, so during the First World War actually. British soldiers are facing against multiple things against Germans, of course. They're actually, going around, just battling, of course, hard and in the trenches, that sort of thing. But the soldiers, a random group of soldiers have been taken to one bit to another, to one little battle to another, because there's been various battles. I think there's about 4 battles that happened throughout 1918, and they've been sporadically placed in the walls. Like you think, hang on, I'm supposed to be in this bit here, around this area, this sort of town, city, whatever in France, and end up in this bit here a couple of days later. What's going on? So they've been displaced. So they've been displaced and actually been killed, of course, and been thrown into jeopardy, of course. They're sort of they abandoned the platoon. The other soldiers, of course, in the trenches, them come outnumbered. But there's obviously they've been affected by this, of course. Even the Germans, they've actually been coming into people's trenches by accident and has ended up being killed or taking down some of the soldiers, of course, either mistakenly just been thrown there or sometimes maybe actually knowing about it but take advantage of it. Who knows? But we know something's afoot, like time is flopping about, of course. Only this year, 1918 is flopping around, and I have to find out what it is. The protagonist ended up in France, somewhere in France, of course, and actually landed in a trench. Supposedly, they end up at the end of a trench, and they fall in, of course, by accident. And obviously, the TARDIS, of course, is bulletproof, of course, and there's a couple of little stuff going on. It's like, oh, what a wonderful day. Then explosions happen, and a little bit of bullet fire goes on, and they sort of just landed this trench with a lot of French soldiers. Soldiers, excuse me. So obviously, but they told them, obviously with the TARDIS translate circuits, of course, they speak English, what they speak actually, so they can obviously hear each other and know what the other person's saying in a different language, of course. Well, in English, than French, really. So, but they got told that some of the platoon have gone missing, like they've vanished in thin air. Like, it's like they've been running, but also they've been just taken out of time. They thought them might have been shot, but actually there's no corpses in the ground. But actually, they've been taken. I think they've been abducted by aliens or something like that, or some new high-tech German technology or something. But they think someone's around, but someone's meddling with the time, of course. And obviously, what has happened is someone has made a time machine, so a crude time machine of like different technology, and built it, but it's caused a little rippage in time. It has, and then people have been, I think what's happened is, it's created a sort of like a weird field. I don't know what you call it, but if people wander into it, they sort of end up being in a different part, like headed into a couple of days in the future, and end up in like a serious look in a different location. Like, there you go. Its navigation, its time is mixed up for some strange reason, and it's revealed that it's not one person involved. It's actually the Conclave Juncture who return. So the 3 gentlemen from the Committed Men return in this story. Apparently they built the time after the events of the Committed Men. They've sort of vanished. They sort of vanished, of course, even though they got arrested by them. They actually had a little trick up their sleeve. And also they've been working on a time machine they have through various plans, through somebody that they knew, someone who's not from their time, who had given them plans or a rough sketch of plans for a time machine. And they built it, of course, and of course in a sort of like semi-crude way, of course, in a crude time machine that's sort of like half baked, really, and decided to just test it out. Of course, once freed, and of course into hiding, they sort of think, well, let's travel far ahead in the future, and obviously they did this. But this caused a little rippage in time, and obviously the machine sort of suffers a little bit of damage from it, and they end up in France in 1918. And obviously, it's caused this little field thing going on, around France. It sort of circulates. It's like like a little border thing or something. I think like a border, like it's stretched out over through the country, and it's affected most of the people. Like if you someone like evacuee just steps out maybe couple of yards, they'll end up just into a different country and maybe in the crossfire in the battlefield and end up being killed. It's stuff like that really that's all affected it, and to them, it's just think, oh, it's just like, it's just thinking something we've done, really. It's serious business, but they don't really care as much, really. They're just in hiding, trying to fix the thing and actually trying to escape, really. And trying to think, something, trying to get the parts, get stuff working. And there we go. And also, but in this story, of course, it's just the three gentlemen. The juncture, they sort of disappeared, actually. They sort of, no one's really, well, I think, but afterwards, of course, once they did the time machine, they actually maybe sent a few people back, they did, really, afterwards. Some of them got killed, because of mistreatment, of course, and also ratting them out, actually, because some of them felt betrayed, some of them just, like, were good allies or anything like that, but half of them managed to get back, really, strangely, however, well, they claimed that. Well, they claimed that you think, oh, they might just be all killed, really. Like, they actually killed all these people from multiple centuries, interestingly. Yeah, so far. And obviously the protagonists must stop them, of course, and just try and remove the time machine out of France, of course, and basically, or maybe destroy it, if that'll work. It's like a weird, if it's hastily out of the field, of course, if it doesn't go into different, into the vortex or anything like that, or to be blown up. It's a different situation with that thing. So this story, of course, obviously, First World War. I was quite interested by this because I've always been interested with the First World War, actually, because of course, Blackadder goes forth. I learned it in history in school. I thought it'd be interesting idea because Doctor Who doesn't really do much First World War stories. Actually, they mainly do the Second World War. So I thought maybe interesting change to that. Really, I think the only time they've ever done that is, I'm trying to think of the one. Maybe a little bit, maybe from the War Games, but also Toy Soldiers as well from the Virgin New Adventures by Paul Leonard. Because that's in 1919, that is. This is 1918. I thought, also try, I never says, send a story in France, that'd be interesting. Also find out different battles, of course, during that time. So I thought, yeah, it'd be interesting to incorporate them in, really. Obviously a follow-up from the Khmer Men, of course, and, so of course, even though it's a bit of a long gap, actually, since you last time saw them. But also the crude time machine as well is sort of a thing from the Virgin New Adventures as well, from the character of Caveat to Lethbridge Stewart, who makes her own when she encounters the Doctor first in transit, but then afterwards she makes her own. It's when you get a set piece, actually, she makes her own, and that causes schisms, of course, and the Doctor and his companions are different time zones, they are in different places. And, stuff like that actually sort of has a bit interesting little influence as well. But there we go. So that's really about what Warlord is. Just First World War type stuff, shenanigans with time travel thrown in. Alright guys, thank you for watching. As always, see you for the next video, and I'll see you later.